Gender Studies Issues. Module 4. Capitalism and Pedophilia-taboo. Welcome. Peace, brothers and sisters.
The totem, against which we generate our taboo matrix, is capitalism. When people say pedophilia is wrong, because there is no informed consent, in fact, they are defending capitalism. Specifically contract. All interpersonal relationships must be mediated, sexual or otherwise. The only sexual relationship permitted is prostitution. Any non-contractual relationship is exploitation. In fact, all sex is exploitative. This checkerboard of sexual relations, which are taboo versus halal, looks like a kin-term naming scheme. Sexual taboos also resemble dietary taboos in Leviticus. Kin terms are fictions of patriarchy. An evil Daedalus as Wittgensteinian builder's blocks. Engine parts. Incest and capitalism are not timeless and eternal.
Deterritorialized from its tribal objects. Postmodern sexuality builds newfound sex objects, ad hoc from the patriarchal wasteland. But they must not violate capitalism. This is why liberalism tolerates prostitution and pornography, which both conform to commodification. Despite that, they are exploitative and degrading. Meanwhile, condemning pedophilia, because the relationship is not contractual. The new, fresh, post-structuralist line questions if contract ideology is such a good idea. Sweatshop labor also conforms to the consent model, but is it ethical? What about fight clubs? Doctors, teachers, policemen, parents, and ordinary people do not need the person with whom they are interacting's consent to do right. If informed consent was required for interactions between adults and children, there just wouldn't be any.
Levi-Strauss, one of the two fathers of modern anthropology, said to this point, among many primitive peoples, it is the custom for each tribe or family to adopt some object from nature as their special symbol, or totem. Totemism is not some primitive bizarre superstition, but a basic instance of logic. It is thinking. Totems see categories, in other words, binary classifications. What can or cannot be eaten and why? Who can or cannot be married, and why?
Interesting perspective. The other father of modern anthropology, Sir James Frazer, held the same. Magic is bad science. Pedophilia taboo is a voodoo prejudice.
Pedophobia is OCD. The sexualization of children is the contamination phobia and decontamination ritual for this obsessive-compulsive disorder. Dr. Fred Penzel explains. Logic has little to do with these fears. The belief here is that these names, images, concepts, or the characteristics of certain people, can be magically transferred simply by thinking about them or by coming into contact with them. When questioned about what it is they fear, they can only reply, "It just feels dirty to me."
That's complex. But just follow the money. That's simple. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, a big source of pedohysteria, is funded by Lockheed and Honeywell, the arms manufacturers. Do arms dealers love children? 1 million children died in Iraq and Afghanistan. To explain this, some point to the tertiary economy of police, psychologists, social workers, lawyers, nurses, etc. as a criminal enterprise, as well as the prison industrial complex, and of course the media cashes into. Politically, the antics of pedophiles acts as an Illuminati diversion to keep the sheeple distracted from the important issues.
That sounds a bit conspiracy theory. With serial child sexual abuse, child prostitution, and child pornography. Are children and sexuality the problematic common denominator? Or is mass industrial technological society and capitalism the problem? A predatory society that manufactures desire and consumption eats up everything. Child killers are manufactured like so many Toyotas. Serial killers and serial abusers are a huge problem in war capitalism society. This is not being made up by the media. Unfortunately, mass murderers are being categorically mistaked with the gentlest lovers of all, creating a surreal sexual terrorist out of what is mostly harmless crushes, and at worst mild eccentricity. Child sexual abuse is a disaster of capitalism. A train wreck of badly mangled flows of desire. The New York Times reported in its 2006 article, An Elephant Crack Up, that a similar pattern is also occurring in uprooted and dislocated elephant societies in Africa. Elephants are raping and killing rhinoceroses, caused by social and environmental upheaval. Society is sick.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Sexuality should have benefits for everyone. It should improve self-confidence, relieve stress, improve bonding and closeness in relationships, and complement physical health. The original default setting of sexuality is on. This is proven by the macabre fact that when a man has his neck broken, his penis becomes erect. The original pre-repressionary, pre-cerebral booming buzzing confusion of the infant, in William James's The Varieties of Religious Experience, is the same unlimited sexuality of the infant in Freud's polymorphous perversity. Sex is good, because God is good.
Why is libidinal economy crashing? Males have erections even inside the womb. Humans are born free, but our sexuality is everywhere repressed. Postmodern philosophers Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari investigated this pathology in Capitalism and Schizophrenia. Guattari notably was tried and convicted of affronting public decency in France when in 1973 he published a work on pederasty called 3 Billion Perverts. In Volume 1 of their classic, they argued, if desire is repressed, it is because every position of desire, no matter how small, is capable of calling into question the established order of a society. Not that desire is asocial, on the contrary, but it is explosive. There is no desiring machine capable of being assembled without demolishing entire social sectors. Desire is revolutionary in its essence. Desire. And no society can tolerate a position of real desire, without its structures of exploitation, servitude, and hierarchy being compromised.
Wow.
To explain that, in an introduction to schizoanalysis, Eugene Holland elaborated, the organs of reproduction and production, too, are first and foremost assigned a place and function in the social order. One result of such assignment, but not the one directly aimed at, is that sexual relations, of some kinds, are discouraged. But the taboo forbidding sexual relations between some persons is merely an after effect of the primary assignment of place and function to specific collectively invested organs within the community. So basically, pedophilia taboo is a byproduct of capitalist superstructure. Sexual taboos are the elite's way of dominating the masses. What is sexually taboo is a threat to the ideological power structure.
Bad engineering. Not, per se, personal problems. Parents and pedophiles are structurally still in conflict, today, just like they were, 2,000 years ago, in ancient Athens. In the Republic, Plato laid the basic theory for the destruction of the family. Never allow biological parenting. That Paleolithic norm survived, into historical times, in the ancient Greek city-state of Sparta. Sparta was the enemy of Athens. Sparta never used money. Sparta had no city walls. Just like the first city-states, in Mesopotamia, before the Amorites rode in. But eventually Mediterranean capitalism crushed these ideal societies. The difference is between incestuous market capitalism and gift economy. In Sparta, every citizen eats together. In capitalism, family meals are divided by the market. Capitalism is exchange. There are no free lunches. Nothing is free. Not space or time. So free love isn't possible. The last sociological vestiges of the original prehistoric, pre-capitalist, pre-family human relationship forms were the child brides and bachabazi dancers of Afghanistan. Boom. Cha-ching.
Nice thinking.
Good ideas. This is the end of Module 4. Capitalism and Pedophilia Taboo. Peace, brothers and sisters.